welcome to Crafts with Miss Carrie. Today we are focusing on the theme of owls. And if you did story time with Miss Rachel, she read you a number of books with owls. And today we're going to work on a craft of how to make our own owl puppets. And I found some great nonfiction owl books that taught me a lot about the different characteristics and behaviors of owls. So this is the puppet that we're going to be making out of a lunch bag. And you can see it is with our usual kit of parts. We've got some wings made of brown construction paper, some googly eyes, and other pieces of construction paper and some markers to make this owl. I will show you some examples of this owl that can be done a little easier, and we will get started. So everyone go run and gather your materials, then meet me back here in just a minute and we'll get started on our owl. I'm going to lower down the camera so you guys can see what I'm doing to make this owl. So there's our little owl. I'll show you guys some examples I found of what the owl could look like. So you can kind of be creative with it and make up your own version, taking bits of this one, taking bits of that one. This one has some really big talons. Those are those nails on the owl's feet, and those are used to catch their prey. Owls carry their prey. They grab it from the ground and they can carry it up into a branch, and that's where they will eat it. And they'll never use their beaks to carry their prey. They only use their talons. So that bird, this version, really emphasizes that characteristic. Here's another version of the paper bag puppet. And this one has some simpler shapes that might be good for you guys that are younger. So you can do it, adapt it to the way that you want it to be. So let's get started. So the first thing I have is my lunch bag. And I'm going to use the flap here to kind of act as the part of the owl's mouth. So with my lunch bag, pretty easily, go grab, I forgot one thing. Most important things I need: glue stick, there we go, glue stick, and scissors. Okay, so I've got my paper bag there, and the first thing I'm going to do is, using this yellow paper, I'm going to cut big circles for eyes. And because I want to be kind of accurate with this, I'm going to use this little cup I found in the cabinet to draw out nice circles for my eyes. Let me grab a pencil. And I'm just going to trace this cup. So you can use anything that you have around the house, like a candle or a toy that's a circle shape. You just wanted to make sure it's a circle shape that will fit onto the top part of the paper bag. So I've traced my two circles, like so, using my cup as a tracing shape, and I'm just going to quickly cut those out. So let's cut along our trace lines and try to make the owl's big eyes a circle. Now, I read in the books that owls' eyes are very, very large and that they can't actually turn their eyes from side to side like people can. So I think I was trying to demonstrate that I was turning my eyes. Let's see if I can do it. I'm looking that way. They can't do that. So they actually have 14 bones in their neck, and they turn their entire heads around, basically 360 degrees. They have vision, but they need to turn their heads to see things, which is why you think of owls, they kind of go, ooh. It's because they can't move their eyes from side to side, so they have to move their head. There we go. So I've got my two yellow circles. Adjust the camera, and I'm going to glue them to my paper bag. These are going to be the eyes of the owl. Put on my cool purple glue that you know turns clear once it dries. So there I've got my owl's eyes. Take another piece of paper. I've got an orange, and I'm just going to cut a little triangle to make my owl's beak. Owls' beaks are very sharp. and they often use them after they've gotten their prey up into their branch. Then they use them to cut into it. If it's a bigger animal, to cut into it in pieces. But if it's a smaller animal, the book said that the owl will just swallow whatever it is whole. So that's kind of interesting. I'm going to take some orange paper. Oops, I already have orange paper. And I'm also going to make the little eyebrows. Oh, my owl lost his eye. Oh no, you have to glue it back on. These little eyebrows or ear pieces, which are actually feathers, and give the owl that horned appearance, like the great horned owl. So I'm cutting out triangles that I'm going to glue to the top of my head. Okay, so you can see I will glue these triangles to the top of my owl's head. 1, 2. So I've got 2 orange triangles, 2 yellow circles, and 1 more orange triangle for the beak. Now I'm going to use my googly eyes, and I'm going to get the really, really big ones that I have in here. I've got all different sizes, and they kind of go everywhere, but there are some big ones in here in this little bag, all mixed in. Without trying to spill them everywhere, I'm going to pull 2 of the big ones out if I can successfully do it. So here's 1 eye. Let's see. 2 eyes. So I've got my 2 large owl eyes. I'm going to put this away before I spill the eyes everywhere. And I'm going to glue them on to my owl's face. Sometimes the Elmer's glue works better than the glue stick for attaching the eyes to the owl. For some reason that glue doesn't bond well with this material. So there I've got my owl face. Can you start to see how your owl puppet? Hoo, hoo, hoo. So owls call to each other, making that noise. Hoo, hoo, hoo. And they actually will respond to humans. If you go out and you hear owls hooing in the night, you can do it too, and the owls will actually respond to you. Owls are nocturnal, and that means they are active during the nighttime. They sleep during the day, and they're very active at night and when they're going out to catch their prey. They have very good eyesight and very good hearing. Scientists think that their hearing is actually even better than their eyesight. Their eyesight is mostly in black and white, and it can detect very, very small bits of light, and that allows it to fly safely through wooded environments, even in the nighttime. So the stars in the sky are bright enough for the owl to safely navigate through a dark forest to catch its prey. So if you go out into your woods nearby at your home or something, and you hear hooing, that is an owl, and you can have a conversation with it. So I'm going to use this blue paper to make the feathered body of my owl. So I'll put this down again, and I'm just going to eyeball it and cut a sort of a oval shape. Whatever works for you, just make sure it will fit onto your owl puppet. Oops, and I'm just going to glue it on. Owl's feathers are super important for its survival. They are actually light and fluffy, and that allows the owl to capture air in between the feathers, which allows it to keep warm in night and winter temperatures. And also it allows it to fly very silently. It doesn't have hard feathers that when the bird flaps its wings kind of smack the air and make that sound. It has these soft velvety feathers that cover the stronger flying feathers, and they allow the sound to dissipate, and they're soft and velvety, so you can't hear the owl flying in the night, which is a great feature when you're trying to hunt down prey. You don't want to alert them that you're in the area. So if you can fly silently like an owl, you'll be more successful. So I'm going to draw some little half circles, kind of like shingles on a roof, to make my owl's tummy look like feathers. And you can do this in any color that you want. This owl is not representative of any one species of owl. This owl is unique to our project. So that was easy. Oh, I'll add a few more here. Okay, now comes the big part, the wings. Obviously, the wings are very critical to the owl. They help propel it and fly silently through the forest and navigate through the dark night. And so I made these little my poor one-eyed owl, fan wings that involve a little bit of folding and a little bit of tape. But you certainly don't have to do that. This example that I showed just has sort of teardrop shaped wings that are much easier to cut out. And this example has wings that are unfurled and sort of more like angel looking, and then with the talons. So it's totally up to you what kind of wings you want to give your owl. But I will show you how to do the fan owl. So what you're going to do is take about a half a piece of paper, and you are going to fold it like a fan. And the way to do that is you start at the bottom and you fold a little bit up, so like 3/4 of an inch, and then flip it over and fold up that same amount, line up the bottoms like so. And you keep on doing that over and over and over again. So you flip the paper over and then fold the other direction, trying to keep all of the folds about the same size. I think it's probably about 3/4 of an inch. So fold, 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 fold. I've got a little weird amount left over. And ta-da, here is my fan wing. So to keep my wing attached, I'm going to use a stapler. So I'm going to staple one end of my wing, like so. Now I've got my fan, and I'm going to spread out my owl's wing, and I'm going to use some tape to attach it to my owl puppet. So just like that, and kind of twist it to cut it flat if you want, or you can kind of do it three-dimensionally. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to twist this one and make it really flat. It'd be good to staple it to my puppet. There you go. There's my owl's fanned wing. And then you can repeat that process to make the owl's other wing. And then there's one thing that we left off, which is the owl's talons. So you can do them in that really cool way that one of the examples did, or you can do them as just 2 triangles at the bottom, which is what I'm going to do for simplicity's sake. Taking my orange paper, it's getting a lot of use today, and I'm going to cut sort of like a hump, I don't know, a lump, a gumdrop shape to be my owl's feet, so that my owl can perch on a tree and wait for a little mouse or ferret or mole or whatever to scurry by and for it to swoop down and get some dinner. All right. So here is my one-winged owl, and it's a great owl puppet. So you can go outside in the forest and pretend that your owl is flying through the air, running around in your backyard. Get some of that energy out and pretend to be an owl hunting for mice or little rodents in your yard. They're happy to come in my yard and get the voles that have dug up my garden and made tunnels all over my yard. So there's these weird mounds. If I had a good owl friend, he would come and eat those voles up and make my garden more agreeable to me. But I don't know if I have any owls. I haven't seen any evidence. One thing that you can see is that owls, when they eat their prey whole, they digest everything, the bones, the fur, all the different body parts, and their body actually consumes that and then spits it back up like a hairball and makes an owl pellet. And I think one of the books, so I have a bunch of books that I got. This one's called Tiger with Wings, The Great Horned Owl. And then I got 2 other books. This one's Owls by Sandra Markle. And And this one's called All About Owls, written and illustrated by Jim Arnosky. And one of them had a really good picture of what the pellet looks like. This one has a picture. So that's what the pellet looks like. It's a hairball, and it contains, you'll see the skeleton and the fur of the animal that the owl ate. And when I was in science class in 6th grade, we had those owl pellets brought in, and we got to dissect them using tweezers, and we could figure out what the owl's diet was based on the type of bones that we found in the owl pellet. So if you have owls around in your yard, or around in your neighborhood, and you see those owl pellets, that's a really cool project, is to uncover them and see what your owl is eating. So I'll just show you guys a few cool pictures. There was one, here's one with the owl using its beak to eat some sort of rodent there. It's pretty cool. And here's the owl flying through the air, swooping. Look at those wings. They're pretty powerful and magnificent looking. And then you can see down here, the talon toes are waiting to grab the prey, like a gopher or mouse or whatever. But this one has really good. Look at those talons. Those look like sharp nails. I don't think I would want the owl to land on me with those. So here's just a final picture of a little cute owl. He kind of looks like our owl puppet. And you can decorate your owl puppet as you see fit. And that is our craft today. If you're interested in owls, just send us an email and at info@centenniallibrary.org, and we can put together a package of books about owls for you. And maybe we all can learn about the owls that we have here in Vermont. Thank you, everybody. Come join us next week for our craft around 10:30. I'll be posting it to Facebook, and we're going to do some things with watercolors and tape next week to celebrate winter. So it's a fun project. There's 2 different levels that I'm going to do it in. So for little ones, you guys can do it with some tape, and the bigger ones can cut out some snowflakes, and we're going to do cool paintings. So I hope to see you guys there next week. I wish I could see you for real in the library because we miss you. Send us an email, say hello, and thanks for tuning in.